Hi, Single Mama Diva here. I'm here to speak with you about how to best go about determining your goals as well as your children's goals. A lot of the times, as single parents, we find ourselves basically in the same place that our children are. We're redefining ourselves, we're living our second life, so to speak. We are doing things that we've never done before, and we're taking chances that we've never taken. And what I would like to present to you is an example of something that could probably help you break the cycle of not knowing what you want to do. We all go through it. So here goes. This is Single Mama Diva Wisdom number 2. Okay? My son decided that he wanted to cut hair. And although I'm all for vocational professions, because I was a cosmetologist for over 20 years, had my own business, and it was beautiful, but I did not have a solid foundation, and I didn't have a lot of choices as if that didn't work out, or if I wanted to kind of change up. So I told him, that's great. I said, but what we're going to do is work on your career first. I said, and then we'll come back and pick up your vocation. What do you like to do? Well, I like to work with my hands, he said. I said, okay, well, let's look up some things. First of all, I looked up the top careers. Number one career that came up was engineering. All forms of engineering: chemical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering. And I asked him, I said, let's look at this, because when engineering came up, he immediately became stiff, as though he was resisting. And I said, I see that you probably have issues with this. I said, but let's break this down. Let's look at a chemical engineer, and let's look at what they do. Let's not look at the subject matter yet. Let's look at what they do. When he saw that they could make everything from plastics to do things in the oil industry, to doing things in pharmaceuticals, to putting things in the foods that we eat, he became very interested. And I said, another thing you can do. I said, as you get your engineering degree and you work for a while and you decide you still want to cut hair, it's only going to take you a year or two to get your license to cut hair. I said, you can open up your own barbershop and you can sell your own line of products that you make with your own hand, with your own mind, with your own patent and your own label on it. And that will come from your education as a chemical engineer. And he said, wow, that's a great idea. And then he changed. So then I was able to segue into, where would you like to go? You know, where do you want to live? Well, I like the South. So we looked in the South, and of course my alma mater, North Carolina A&T State University, pops up because they have wonderful engineering programs. And we looked at the actual subject matter. And when he saw chemistry and all of these other things, I said, think about it. Once you get through it, you don't ever have to worry about being tested on it again. And once you begin to apply it, you'll see how it's not as hard as it seems. And he said, okay, I'll try it. Well, ever since then, his goal for wanting to go to school is so that he can learn chemical engineering, get him a good job, save him some money, one day open up his salon, and open up his own, start his own hair care line. So, as you can see, there are different ways that you can motivate your children, but I also want you to apply this to yourself, because as single parents, we get so bogged down with taking care of our kids that we forget what we like, what we want. What makes you warm and fuzzy inside? What makes me warm and fuzzy inside is when I talk to women, single moms in particular, about starting their own business. How do I look at business? I look at business as education. I look at education as business. If it's something you really want to do, if you have to go to school for 2 or 3, 4 years to do it, do it. I like teaching adults. I like leading and guiding adults. So for me to go and get my doctorate degree in adult education was not a burden. It was actually uplifting Did I make any money behind it? No, I didn't. I was broke, still looking at things that in a different way though, because I'm rich in other areas and I'm not judging the value of my life based on a dollar, which is only about 50 cents today anyway. So once you start reconstructing your world by reconstructing your mind, which is what I talk about, all the time, you will understand there are different ways to approach your business. As you begin to evolve and realize that stopping what you're doing now, taking a chance and switching directions, making a transition or adding to what you already have is not as hard as you think it is. It's very challenging. It puts you in a whole different state of mind, but you can do it. So until next time, think about what it is that makes you warm and fuzzy inside. Think about what it is that your children would be interested in doing, and you can actually guide them in a very profitable direction by doing that. If they say they don't know what they want to do, like my son did at first, don't let them just sit. Make them go to school. I know a lot of people speak against this, but I would rather make my son go to school and get an engineering degree or some kind of degree, and later he drops it and says he wants to be a guitar player in a band, than to have him float around for a few years, get kind of lost in the sauce, and not really have a cushion to go to find out what it is that he wants to do. What is business? Business is just not commerce. Business is family.